the Epic of Dragon Ball series reaches its conclusion. Hello, all who are joining us, going to be joining us, or are watching the VAR, and welcome to what I would consider to be probably the most difficult stream that I have ever done.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
Thank you, Happy Soul, for subscribing. And when I say most difficult, in this particular case, I mean that more in a good way than a bad. Because I've got my notes, I've got things lined up, and I've got all of this stuff, but trying to condense 10 whole years of history is not an easy feat, not in the very least. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Thumb Ugly. The Redneck Ram, also thank you as well. It's too hot outside, fix it, fix it, fix it. Yeah, even the Teaman has his limits and what he can do. So the theme of this is the first of several live streams I'm going to be doing this month, dedicated to the business and various things looking forward to the future, let's say. This one's going to be looking more to the past, but the other one's be looking to the future. Either the near future or the far future. One of the things we'll be doing in the future is talking about what it would take to make a VTuber company. Because my God, have some of you people been kind of starting to get annoying with the bugging me of starting a VTuber company, and I keep trying to tell you it's not going to happen. I'm going to show you by having us crunch the numbers in real time of why a guy who can barely make his rent will not be able to start a VTuber company. But I'll show you what I would do if I could. And also talk about, for the first time, I'm going to go into detail because I've always made these various vague comments about if I started my own gym, what would make it so different compared to every other gym that's out there. And the way I see it, the stuff I'm going to talk about, nobody has done what I want to do. They probably won't. Chances are I'm not going to have my ideas poached, but even if I do not foresee myself having the money to start a whole gym line around it. So, whatever. Might as well talk about my ideas. So if somebody ever does do it in the future, I can go to this stream and say, hey, that's my idea. Because that's something that happens a lot, I've noticed with myself. We'll talk about that as well, because I have some things I have pulled up from the past, things I have forgotten about. VTuber Co-Pro is a money pit. It could be, depending on how you do it. Sakana, for all of his, let's say, lack of professionalism, is actually probably one of the most professional people who has done it. Whether on purpose or an accident, I don't know, but there's a reason why Face Connect is working. Despite them not having any VTubers over 1 million subscribers. Pippa's not even at 500,000 yet. So despite their relatively small size, they're doing something right. And we'll talk about that when I do that stream. But that's that stream, and this is this stream. Why is the music not playing? There we go. Let me know if it's too loud, if it's too soft, or whatever else. Teaman, thank you for joining us. Why can I not read that name? Come on, pull it up. Let's go. Befuddled Jack of, I gotta do this, few trades. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful occasion of 10 long, dear God, long years of this business. In the 10 years, I had visions of what I expected the company to be. Pretty much none of them have come true. In both good ways and bad. Brewing an apple cider tea at work right now. Thank you, Mailer, for joining us. It's a great BAME. I don't know what a BAME is. Are you mocking me? Let me go ahead and zoom in. Name, great name. There we go. Making that a little bit bigger so I can see it. Throughout this whole thing, I will be yapping along as we go through let's say a broken up 10 years, because there's no way I can do it linearly. Way too many things have happened and I've forgotten what has happened when, etc. But if anyone has any type of questions or want to talk about... Finally got it to load stupid... Oh, you mean the stream? Thank you for joining us, Pippi. If anyone has any type of questions about the past 10 years or wants me to ramble about a specific thing, let me know and I will switch gears to talk about that. Thank you, Pippi, for joining us. There's a couple of little other things. I'm not gonna look at that right now. A couple little things which I'm gonna start off on. It's gonna be a little bit random. Let's see here. I'm gonna share, screen, tab. Which one of these tabs am I gonna start out with first? Not that one, definitely not. Go back up. Huh. Why is it not coming up? Yeah, Paper City Mag. Is that the one? What is this? HEB. Oh, I see what this is. No, I don't need you up. Don't need you up. Okay, this one right here. This one in this case is not my fault. That's the monthly giveaways. No. No. Why is this being so difficult? It's just not up. Why is it not up? Huh. 1 second. Where is this music coming from all of a sudden? Why are you?
Your website sucks last time I checked.
Vice, baby. Thank you. Okay. Everything is becoming unglued all of a sudden. Of course, in the 10th anniversary stream, everything is becoming unglued. Vice, baby. Thank you for joining us. Don't care about that. $20. Happy 10-year Teaman. Here's to 10 more. Hopefully is a very good way of putting it. It's a very good way of putting it. For the love of... Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I don't need this page up. So I'm gonna close this entire thing. So now I can go here. Share. Screen. Not you. You. There we go. Share. Make sure that you guys can see it. Fantastic. Mailer asks, how long have you been doing sponsorships with VTubers? I'd sadly not heard of you until I saw Celestium talk about you and share a discount code. With VTubers specifically, that's a good question. You know, I think... No, that's not true. It's been a few years since I've had the first VTuber that I've done a coupon code with. But they have been, they're very small. But I have not exploded onto the VTubers team with coupon codes until last May. I've been doing coupon codes for other people since 2020, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for VTubers specifically, it was a very small thing until just recently. Is it? There we go. Until just recently have I really gotten into the VTuber scene with doing the coupon codes. I wanted to do it for a while, but things happen. That's how these things go. Alright, so. Is this the first one I want to bring up? Or is there another one I want to bring up? 1 second. Wait, it is this one. I'm just going to scroll down. So, one of the reasons why things have been so chaotic this past 10 years and why I don't want to do business plans anymore is that things never go to plan. Never. Either in a bad way or a good way. So one of the things I've planned to do since the beginning was do, not festivals, conventions. Anime conventions and tea conventions. But I did not expect to do any of that until a couple of years down the line when I get myself more situated. But surprisingly, within the first couple of months of us being open, the Houston Tea Festival reached out to us. And this is back when I was up in Chicago. So Houston is a long way away. But they asked if we could come. And so we did. I saw Teaman for the first time on the Lost Super Chats. And I have a section for all of that as well. So if I go back to here. So the first annual Houston Tea Festival, which took place in, I believe it was February? Pretty sure it was February of 2016, which was August, September, October, November, December, January, 6 months into our launch. And this is 6 months after I launched with nobody thinking that this business was going to succeed. They thought that the whole anime-themed tea business was terrible. And this is when I told everybody, you know what? I get it. I hear what you're saying. But just trust me. I don't have the brain capabilities of explaining all the ins and outs of why this will work, but it will work. And so here's some images of Teaman from almost 10 years ago. So I was, what, 25? Yeah, I was 25 at this point. Young 25-year-old Teaman. Over here to the right is the tea guy. But here we have a little booth set up. It's so small. We get to, at this point I do not have the spinny thing. We'll look at this spinny thing a little bit later. I just had the teas laid out like this. I mean, this was 6 months in, so I had probably not even 20 teas at this point. Very tiny tea shop. I had a couple of other things. This was just our way of brewing tea. We were still doing, even at this festival, we were doing a thing where every tea that we had, we made a sample for, which was crazy at the time. It still is crazy. If you ever go to a tea convention, one thing you will see is they will have 1, 2, maybe 3 samples of whatever they're doing. And that's all they're making. Us, nah, we went the other route. A sample for everything. And it worked out well. We were, I would say, we had a confirmation from other people. We were one of, if not the most popular booth in the entire convention. Because we were fun. No, everybody, after a certain point, all the fancy, type of store. Audio should be back. Yes. I don't know why Streamlabs keeps doing that. It just randomly cuts me off. Like I didn't touch anything because I was doing a thing. It's got a thing that pops up that says something was disconnected and reconnected. And we should be back. Extremely annoying, I know. I apologize, but it's just one of those things that happens in business. You're minding your own business and then boom, something goes wrong. Imagine that on a scale where you lose thousands of dollars because of a mistake which you had no part in. Yeah. I'm used to it, but it still pisses me off. Anyway, I don't know how long I was yapping, but... So in the picture over to the right, we see a T-guy, which is one of the people who thought that this whole thing was not going to work. Along with you, Analog Drift, another guy who thought this whole thing was not going to work. How many people just walked off with the whole cups over the years? Not too many, but enough. A lot of people didn't realize that. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Bam. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the mouse, but let me go back one picture. So right here in the right-hand corner, you see these little cups? We made the tea in those cups, and they have their own little mini cups where they can pour the samples in. A lot of people thought that these whole cups full with tea was the samples. They would just pick the whole thing up, drink from it, or walk away from it. It's like, stop it. Actually, maybe you can't see it. No, you can still see it. Go away, Analog Drift. See, did I miss anything else? Snake Dude for life. 10 years for being a Teaman. Here's your 10 more. Hopefully. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. You forgot to show your ID, so decided you were a child and muted you for safety. There is a reason why I've not been talking as much about that in public, because... I don't have an opinion anymore that I can say publicly, because I will get my entire account suspended. Let's just leave it at that. Alright, but aside from that, there was another convention from the same people. The second random annual Houston Tea Festival. Sure. And this one had a theme to it. It had a Harry Potter theme, which was extremely fun. You can kind of see it for some of these other things. The Three Broomsticks. It's the name of this place. They got the little owl. They got a whole nice little setup here. Honestly, it's better than our setup, but still. Only one picture from us from this one. And here is the Teaman in 2018. 2018 is around the time when I started getting morbidly obese. Not morbidly, but when I started getting fat. But this is before all that. As you can see, I was still a fit Teaman. I was a strong Teaman. I had a good punch that I could throw. It was fantastic. But this was our little setup. Speaking of which, go right here. So you see that big poster in the background? Go here. Go here. That big poster. That. Now let me go to here. Shaders tab instead. Make sure you can see it. That big poster is going to be our August giveaway. For our 10-year anniversary, we are giving away a piece of our history. Our convention banner, designed and commissioned by the Teaman in 2015, has been with us to every convention these past 10 years. As we enter a new decade, we are going to be evolving, and so we will give away one of our past loves. The banner is 7.5 feet by 3.5 feet and is massive. A bit of tape stains in the corners, but easy to wash off. We have only printed one. It's not you. You.
Your website sucks last time I checked.
Thanks, Pippa. And thank you, Akai, Suki, showed us on stream, Ping Cat. Thank you for the ping. Nobody asked, but thank you. I just realized when people do the super chat, nothing is coming up on screen. Man, Streamlabs. Ugh. Am I gonna do cons of it again? Absolutely. When I can afford it, when I'm in a good place, cons are actually really fun. Really stressful, but really fun. I just need a better card to be able to go to places, and I need the money, because you gotta sign up between 6 months and a year in advance. And as someone who struggles to pay rents month after month, it's difficult to drop $1,000 and get no return on it until a year later. How do you get those to pop out of curiosity? Is it some web thing in OBS? So Streamlabs has something called Talk Studio, which is what I'm using right now. Would I be able to... I cannot share this tab, unfortunately. I cannot share the tab that is sharing the other tabs. It'll probably create some kind of a loop, but... Streamlabs, there's just a thing where you just press show on stream, and then it shows stuff on stream. But anyway, so yeah. The giant poster, right here. And when I say the stains in the corner, I never bothered to clean them because this is where you put the tape on. And you see a little bit in this corner, but again, easily washable. But yes, if this entire massive poster that I can't even fully unroll because it's so big. Yeah. Holy shit. This whole thing is going to be the monthly giveaway for this month. So let me go ahead and roll this back up. That is what we will be giving away, a piece of history. Give me one moment. It's a dirty job. This poster actually means a lot to me because it encompassed a lot of what I originally intended for this tea shop to be. Those intentions have changed over the years. Now it's entirely by choice, but it still captures a lot of the essence of what I wanted. Diametrically opposed sides coming together under a single unification, in this case being tea. Ugh! Altered, what's up, Teaman? Thank you for joining us. What is up? Oh, things. Oh, wait, too many notifications. Okay. So, yes, that bandit is what we are giving away. Let me go ahead and go back to sharing this tab. Bam. So, yeah, this is at the Hitty Pollard Houston Tea Festival. As you can see, our getup has become a little bit more advanced. I'm not, I mean, I've read the books, but I'm not like a huge Harry Potter guy. So I had our tea guy help set most of this crazy stuff up. We had this goblet right here. We had another one that was spewing fake flames. And actually I have another tab right here. Let's share this tab instead. Another picture from another place showing better our design, some of our old products. Again, this thing looked really cool. I loved it. You see, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but the 4 jugs that are kind of in the front, we had a really fun game that we were playing with this. What's going on in chat? If you're using vanilla OBS, you can get it to work through Streamlabs on the site. I'm thinking about switching to something else because, man, Streamlabs, way too many glitches. It took me long, but I'm here, Teaman. Hello, Han. Thank you for joining us. So we had a fun game, which I cannot remember all the rules for it. But the plan was this, basically. If you buy 20 grams of tea, which back then was 20 grams, you would put one bead, one specifically colored bead, into one of these 4 vials, representing Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw. But actually, no, you have to buy the specific tea. So if you want a Gryffindor, you will need to buy 20 grams or 50 grams of the Gryffindor, we called it at the time, Gryffindor Common Room Tea. But now it's just a Wizard Familiar Griffin. You have to do some name changes and wonder why. I believe numbers are probably wrong. If you buy 20 grams, you get 1 bead. If you buy 50 grams, you get 3. For the Butterbeer, now called it Wizard Beer, this is where things got fun. If you bought one of the Butterbeers, you could take a gem from somebody else's cauldron and give it to somebody else. So it'd be like a minus 50 points from Gryffindor and give it to Slytherin instead. And we wanted to see which house would win, which house would be the best. And it created a really, really fun game that everybody was playing. Everybody was trying to win. As you can see with the previous image, let me go here. Share this tab. I was wearing a Slytherin shirt because that's what I would fall into. And the reason I'm not wearing my usual uniform is because it was a Sunday by this point. Friday, I wore the usual uniform. Saturday, I wore the broken down one. Sunday, well, I ran out of clothes. So we had to wear the Slytherin one. Go back here, share. It pissed me off in a fun way because... So, if it was not for the Butterbeer contest, Slytherin would have won. But all of these other stupid houses, what they did was they kept buying Butterbeer. And they would take points from Slytherin and give it to somebody else. So I believe Slytherin ultimately got in 4th place. And I think Ravenclaw ended up winning at the end. It was really annoying. We were so close to victory, but everyone just hates the winners, so that's what they did. Disgusting. Hate these people. It also is a fun little trivia thing. Let me go away from this, go back here. We also entered into the Butterbeer contest, and one of the reasons why I'm not shaven, as you can see, is because I was too busy looking for stuff. And I managed to finally find Houston Tea Festival 2018, Harry Potter and the Perfect Cuppa Butterbeer Duel, 1st place, awarded to the Dragon's Treasure. So bam, 1st place, official certificate. We beat all the other Butterbeers. I can't remember how many others there were. I think there was maybe just one more, I don't know. But the point is we won. We no longer sell that tea because, you know, we can't use that name. But we do have a Wizard Beer that is oddly similar. Trolling Teaman does sound like a fun game, yeah. Yeah. Get that shit framed and take it to cons? Maybe, we'll see. I have so many teas on me right now. I have one tea here, another tea here. I feel like I am not gonna run out of tea this time. That's been a problem in the past. So other convention fun little things is... Go ahead and share this tab instead. Make sure you guys can see it. No, you cannot. Bam. So here you can see this was the Facebook page for the Chicago International Tea Festival. Sunday, November 3rd, 2019. It ran for 3 days. There we go. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Here's something fun. Alright, event hosted by blah blah blah. The hosts. Holiday Inn Chicago, okay. The Chicago Tea Festival, they've since had to rebrand. And what is this? The Dragon's Treasure, a haven for anime and tea lovers. I was one of the hosts. I was on the board of directors for that whole year of sorry, my brain broke. For the whole year that the tea festival was going, before, you know, COVID came and kind of ruined everything. But I was on the board of directors. I helped set everything up. Granted, I played a relatively small role in the whole thing, but it's still a nice little thing to have going for me. That I can make that claim that I helped organize and host the 2019 International Tea Festival. Memories. We've done a lot of conventions over the years, but that's not the only thing that we have done. Have cons that you plan to attend to in the future? No and yes. No in the sense of nothing specifically planned at the moment. Yes in the sense of I want to do them again. But I need to be able to afford it. It's a really strange position I'm in right now. I am somehow simultaneously making more money than in the past, but I am like going further and further into the financial abyss, I guess you can say. It's one of the reasons I had to raise my prices this past week or two, because I couldn't keep it up anymore. And so once things get a little bit more stabilized, that's going to be a thing I plan to do in the future. So aside from all these conventions, and there are other convention stories we can talk about, we can jump back and forth between them. Sorry, I did not sleep well last night for some reason. I had myself a dream, woke up at like 2 in the morning. Real difficult time falling back asleep. What else do I have up here that I wanted to pull up? Oh yeah. Speaking of the 2019 Tea Festival, let me zoom this back out. Share this tab instead. Make sure you guys can see the whole thing. Good. This is 2019, Teaman. You can see the weight is starting to come on. The weight is starting to develop. Let me also go ahead and pause the background music. Slightly fat Teaman, as opposed to really fat Teaman that we have now. The audio to this is gonna suck, so just listen carefully. But this is me in 2019 talking about my energy line.
Thank you so much for that. Something everybody had asked me to ask. What was in your cup this morning?
Actually, funny thing about that. What was in my cup this morning is a product that's still not on the market. It is a tea-based energy drink. Energy, we're going to be calling it. We were going to debut it today, but things happen as they often do in the business world. So it'll still be a little while longer. But when we do, I feel like it's going to really change the way people view energy drinks. People like a lot of caffeine, a lot of sugar, gets them all nice and jittery, but it doesn't really give them the focus they really need. With how we made this, no sugar, caffeine is just whatever's in the tea, maybe even caffeine free if it's an herbal rooibos tea. I put in the right ingredients to really give you that extra focus. Think of it as if you're playing a chess game. You don't want to be jittery, anxious, ready to go and do the next thing. You want to be calm, focused, and know exactly what you're going to do. And that is how I built the drink. Yeah. Also, look next to this woman, down below. When you see the little shaker, the little black thing, you can't read. It's too small. What if I full screen this? No, you definitely can't read this.
Your website sucks last time I checked.
Thanks, Pippa. I know. Get out here. Go back here. What we got? Madaya is bored. Thank you for the $10. Happy 10-year anniversary, Teaman. Stoked that I found your store and looking forward to trying all the teas. Thank you very much. Highly, highly appreciate it. Though not a single person has given $100, chat, do you see the little goal that we have? My goal is 50 super chats of at least $100 to hit in the next hour and a half. You don't have $5,000, chat? You don't have $5,000? Are you poor? Are you that poor that you don't have $5,000? Really? Forest Dweller, thank you for joining us. Man, I didn't know I was talking with poor people. Not even having $5,000 to give me. Man. Okay, anyway. So, next, between us, you see the shaker and you see the black thing. This was a tea-based protein powder. Which, for this one I called You Can Be a Hero, which I themed after All Might from My Hero Academia. Again, another product which is no longer being sold because I couldn't afford it. I could not afford to do it. Let me rephrase that.
Faggot.
Thanks, Coco. Thanks. I know I have to be. I know I have to rephrase things sometimes. That doesn't make me... God, Coco. Andrew Ryan, thank you so much for the $100. See? He's not poor, chat. He's not poor. Unlike the rest of you. And for every $100, you get to hear Coco call me that. And $50 has its own thing as well. Oh yeah, so yeah, protein-based or tea-based protein powder. I could not afford the scale I needed to make it affordable. It was too expensive for what you were getting. And so that is going to be another thing I'm going to recreate when I have the funds, which will be a strong theme at the end of this live stream. Boy, it'll be a strong theme. But yeah, I just want to show that off. Do I have anything else to show off here? No. So for the time being, we can switch off from convention. We can come back to it if anybody has any type of questions or whatnot. But let's move on to another topic within this realm. As I pour myself some tea. Oop, and let me get the music playing again. I'm going to pause it again a little later, but... You know, I can see why that woman did the $5 thing. I shouted at chat and somebody gave me $100. You don't have $1,000, chat? You don't have $1,000 to give me on the website? Really? You're just that poor? Hold on a second. Give me one. What is this? Go away. Here. Should I just have it get instead? Here's my website, chat. Here's the website. You go to other products. You go to donate. Donations. $1,000. It even says do it. You don't have $1,000 to give me? Really, chat? You're that poor? You like that? I see how it is. I see how it is. No, not you. Unbelievable. I had less than $1 in my bank account last month. I wholly understand that. I am frequently within that realm, actually. My brother in Christ, I spend my money on cigs and VTuber and band merch. I don't even eat anymore. Well, cut back on cigs, cut back on VTubers, cut back on bands, and you will have enough money for me because I am important. You know what? Let me see if I can pull this up. I was gonna do this a little bit later, but I'm just gonna do it now. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find my...
Nani?
Nani? Who says Nani? What does that mean? Ah! Hamdrew, thank you for becoming a member. Only a tea novice, but still a member. Thank you very much for joining us. I forgot what my sound effects did. Notifications, 10-year anniversary, that's good, okay. I am looking for something specific, give me a sec. That'll be for later. Good morning, yep. Not that, not you.
Faggot!
Okay, stop yelling at me. Hello? Why did it do it? Hold on a second. Why was it doing it so much? Thank you for the $100, My Spice Baby. I don't know why. Coco, what the hell? Like, slow down, woman. You're not supposed to say it that much. You're supposed to just say it once. Damn. Why do you make me feel bad about myself? I think back when I was more flush with overtime cash, I believe I did do it, and I'm just a broke salary man. You have done more than enough, Redneck Ram. You have saved my ass more times than I can count. So, you get a pass. Redneck Ram gets a pass. I want you to get some tea from you, but I saw the shipping price and almost had a heart attack. Are you overseas? That would explain it then. Alright, what was that? Oh yeah. I was looking for the thing before freaking Coco began yelling at me. Not that one, not that one. No. Not that one. I will find it in a sec. Chat. There we go. Share this tab instead. I don't even remember what sparked this. Make sure you can see it. Of course you can't see it. Make it full screen. I give up. No more marketing. Give me your fucking money. I'll eventually solve a large portion of the woes going on in the culture war. Don't ask me how. I wouldn't bother explaining. Stop giving it to used car salesmen you refer to as influencers. I will find ways to solve these problems. Some solutions you won't like at first, but who cares? If you really know what you liked or how to solve these problems, you wouldn't be here in the first place. King Teaman will go rampaging across the land and not only tear down the institutions causing so much trouble, he will set something better in its place. Now put the money in the bag, chat. Put the money in the bag. Or else. $70 for shipping, oh god. Yeah, Europe, that's why. Jesus Christ. Again, we'll talk about why I made that tweet and so many other ones in a little bit. Before all that, so it's a funny thing about my business. It's difficult to really express the success or lack thereof, depending on how you see it, because when I first started this business, it was a means to end. It was meant to fund other things that I wanted to do. So it was a part-time side gig as a main, instead of a main focus. That changed in 2018. 2018 is when I decided I wanted to make the business my main focus. It reminds me I want to slap some in so I can get it with the coffee. Yes, just DM me and then we'll figure out how to properly do it. Let me double check. Let me see if the coffee is finally in stock again. Coffee. Okay, and then click. Got you here. It is still out of stock. It's never been out of stock for this long. I'm getting kind of nervous. Anyway, so apologies for this. What's going on here? Are there any affiliates in Brazil, or am I gonna be the first one? As far as I'm aware, nobody in Brazil is an affiliate, so you would be the first one, yes. Probably to get someone a mana potion to slap in with it. Yeah, that's no problem. We can figure all that out. I don't have any money. I don't have any money. Will you accept a dowry of 3 goats and a piglet named Steve? I was gonna make a joke, but in current year, you can't make jokes unless you actually believe them, so I'm not gonna make that joke. Do you guys know that in the past, you can make jokes about stuff you don't actually believe, and jokes about things you disagree with? You can't do that in current year, unfortunately. I like this cup. My dragon egg cup. What was it? Oh yeah. So 2018 is when I decided I'm gonna put all my focus into the business. One of the reasons being is that I had to leave my personal training gig, because, well, the people I had a certificate with, National Academy of Sports Medicine, they kind of screwed me. And I decided I was not going to pay them extra money to get my certificate back. But that's a story for a different stream. So I went all in, quote unquote, with the business. Unfortunately, that's not exactly what happened, because I had to pay other bills. What? No. Where's your new sister? By the way, chat, I officially have adopted a new kitten, but I still need to get a spade. But that costs money which I do not have. If she shows up, I will show her on stream. Okay. Not you. You're not. You're old. You're like 3 years old at this point. You're nothing to me. Okay, now shoot. No more scritches. I still had bills to pay. So I had to do side gigs in order to be able to keep the store running. Mr. Teaman, I bought a teapot and your butterscotch bar from you. They came in today. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us, Wheel God. Wheel God Kill Me 7. Thank you so much. No, thank you for the purchase. I greatly appreciate it and desperately need it. So yeah, 2018, I had to do many odd jobs in order to make ends meet. And I could barely focus on the tea shop itself. So I was doing Uber, I was doing Lyft, I began to do Uber Eats and Grubhub. I don't think I was doing DoorDash, but I might have. I can't even remember anymore. Those, I was also doing Airbnb. I tried to do, I think it was called TaskRabbit at some point, but that didn't go too well because reasons. But I was doing all of these side gig odd jobs in order to make ends meet. And so doing all of those, plus the tea business, I was doing those, 80 hours a week stuff. And it's how I know that when other businessmen say they do 80 hours a week, they're typically lying. Because I saw what that was doing to my mind, to my body, to everything. What is TaskRabbit? It's basically, it's like Uber and Lyft, but for like handyman stuff. So if you need somebody to move something, if you need somebody to help clean out a garage, I think that's like the one job I did with them. I cleaned out a garage for somebody. I did other stuff as well. If you need somebody to clean your house, which I did that as well. Basically hire somebody to do stuff for you. It was basically that. Yeah, because of me having to do all these jobs, I did not have as much time as I would have liked for the tea shop. And it was kind of sucked. It kind of sucked because I would go to conventions. I would be the most popular booth there, whether it be a tea convention or an anime convention. Bro, I know the feeling. I do 50 at work, then stream. Some days it just makes you drop, yeah. It's far enough away from my memory that I can now say this without the feeling of shame and embarrassment. It got so bad that there'll be times when I would get home at like 2 in the morning and I would have a memory of me putting the key in my door, but then the next thing I remember is me waking up from the floor. Not the bed, the floor. I did not feel pain, so I don't think I fell and hit my head or passed out, but I was asleep on the floor with no memory of how I got on the floor. And this happened more than once. So, when I was at the edge of my rope, or at the end of my rope, I really meant it. And that's why I gained 100 pounds. Went from tip-top fit personal trainer to, fat fuck, losing consciousness Teaman. Yeah. But it made no sense to me because when I go to conventions, everyone loved my tea. I was one of the most popular booths there. I sold out of, somebody give $1,000? No, it's just one purchase. No. A lavender lemon shampoo bar. Just the shampoo. That's all, and that's not $1,000. I'm keeping this up in case we get notifications like that for tea sales and whatnot, so I can thank the people. Don't believe in yourself, believe in me, believing in you. Yeah. Ugh. I'm getting mild forms of PTSD just thinking about those days again. Where, let's say a Friday morning, I would wake up at 6 a.m. I would eat, do whatever. I would flip on Uber. And while I wait for the ride to come in, I would start working on the tea shop. Or maybe on the YouTube channel. It would beep, I would go, I would do the work. And if it's Friday, that usually means that I will be out for a while until probably, let's say, 2 o'clock. I would come home, I would eat, and I would get back to work on the tea shop or the YouTube channel until either 4 or 5 o'clock, or I would flip on Uber again. I would go out, and I will be out until maybe midnight, sometimes as late as 2, maybe even 3 in the morning. Usually more often than not, it was like 1 or 2 a.m. And I would get home, sleep. I would feed the cats, and then sleep. Again, wake up at like 6, 7 in the morning. Repeat. For the Saturday, and to a lesser extent, repeat for the Sunday. Monday, same thing, but I would not be out that late, usually until like 9 at night or something. But that was basically my entire life, 7 days a week. Unless it began to rain really hard or snow really hard, then when I have a snow day where I get to work on the tea shop or the YouTube channel. So it's not like I really got a rest. I just got a rest from Uber and Lyft. Oh, also in between that, sometimes I would have people come in for Airbnb, like make the last minute signups. The worst is when I am like 30 minutes away from home and somebody signs up for Airbnb and they are 15 minutes away from my apartment. So I gotta turn off Uber and rush home and hope I get there somehow before them, and hope there's no issues with that. It was a chaotic time, to say the least. It's one of the reasons why I say that this company should not exist. Somebody who's giving that much time, but only like less than 10% of that time to the actual business, nobody is going to succeed with that. And I started this business with only $3,000 in my bank, and I used pretty much all of it to start the business. Starting a business with $3,000? No company is going to succeed with that. Like, come on. Nobody is going to launch a business and keep going for 10 years with only $3,000. That's one of those things which you read in books or hear in YouTube channels for like a quick little glib, but then you go and look it up and it's like, oh, wait, they actually have like, a couple of $100,000 backing them, so they don't have to worry about anything. I didn't really have that, unfortunately. And so, yeah, this type of terrible lifestyle kept going until about March of 2020, which at this point COVID had launched, which kind of shut down the Uber and Lyft stuff, made things even more dire. This happens a lot, I have noticed, with my life and the business. I would hit a point at which it feels like everything is about to come undone and that the entire business is going to end, that everything was going to be destroyed, and that I have nowhere else to go. Because now I have this business which is going nowhere. I have no way of making extra money. People are not going to be signing up for Airbnb. I was not going to be able to do Uber and Lyft. I think they even just like shut down completely, so I couldn't do it even if I wanted to. And then all of a sudden, one night, I began to get multiple sales out of nowhere. And I looked, and I had some notes that said, hey, we heard about you from Ricada. Which, ignoring the stuff that's happened in the past 2 years, let's just focus on 2020. Let's just put on pause for now. I sent him a gift several months prior to that. And he ended up getting around to it and showcasing it. In fact, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to pause that. I have to pull it up from my Ricada video, unfortunately. Share this tab instead. I had this happen. Wait. There we go. I had this happen.
We'll get started in earnest in just a second, but there is something that I haven't done, and I feel like a jerk for not doing it, because someone sent me a very, very nice gift a while back, and I got it, and my kids stole it. And I really want to thank the person who sent it to me, especially because it's a business, and it's a business that some of you might enjoy. So this came from the Dragon's Treasure, and they make tea, and they sent me a bunch of tea. And so I want to certainly, like when I say they sent me tea, they didn't send me little Lipton bags, right? Look at this. It's premium loose leaf tea, individually packaged. This is a haven. Their tagline is a haven for anime and tea lovers. The Dragon's Treasure says, "I freaking love you, Nick." Hey, that's the Teaman right there.
Pausing real quick. So here's a fun little fact. The name the Teaman actually came from this. This is where I got the name the Teaman from. Now, the Teaman, the name has already existed. I knew somebody else who ran a tea business, and everyone called him the Teaman. But I figured, you know what? Now I'm being called that. Might as well I need some kind of a identity, I guess. A internet persona, if you will. And just calling me the Dragon's Treasure over and over again was not going to do it. So, the Teaman. Boom. Alright, back to the video.
Dragon's Treasure, I am sorry for taking so long to do this, but I'm glad we had a good audience for that, and we'll probably have a lot of subsequent audience. I wish you the best. I can't wait to drink some of this tea.
My business was minuscule up until that point. I had no idea what was going on with these multiple orders all rolling in at around 11:30 at night, until someone left a note with the order saying Brigade Law sent me. This was April 1st, and was an incredible breath of life into my store, just as the lockdowns cut off almost all other sources of revenue. The next major event, thanks to Old Nick, was August 2020, my 5th year anniversary, where I took a risk on something. I tried to get permission beforehand, but I couldn't get a hold of him. But I sent this super chat and got this reaction.
Let's do these chats here. The Dragon's Treasure says, "Nick, your last shout out gave us the best non-convention month ever. Wow. Starting August 1st, tonight, we are celebrating our 5th year anniversary and would love it if you help us celebrate it. We were looking to one day be a staple without bending the knee to the mob or diddling little kids, which seems to be the standard nowadays. Guys, if nothing else, guys, if you have not heard a more based and red-pilled ad read than that, that's what it is. That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
Now, it was also the very first time which I ended up doing anything that one might call political or culture war centric. Pull this up. Let me get in better position so I can speak a little bit more. Let me see what's going on in chat first. Wait, the old Teaman retired? When did he retire? Analog Drift, tell me when he retired. You start... not you. Get out of here. My tattoo artist. In my area, you need at least 15 to 20k. Started small and kept in your means. The right way to do it. Well, it depends on... We'll talk about that later, I guess. Damn, back in the day, yeah. Dude, I remember seeing that live. It's been a while. Yeah, that was my first time I really got an audience going. Sadly, Uncle Iroh was taken. It's funny because I actually originally first heard of you from Nose Candy Esquire here. Yeah, so did most people. During the Rittenhouse trial, we'll bring that up as well. It's weird thinking, skipping ahead a few years, me doing YouTube stuff and having you reach out to me and making me an affiliate. Honestly, feels surreal sometimes, yeah. The reason I reached out to you is because you were making music. And I value... I'm getting really strangely emotional right now, and I don't even know why. Holy shit. Something is hitting me and I don't know what. I don't know what is giving me these feels. Alright. The reason I reached out to you during this time is that you were actually making music. You were making covers with instruments that I liked. And people don't realize that. Let me go at it from a different angle. I've been getting really pissed off this past month at everyone, including people from my audience, because of what's been going on with V Shoujo and what they've been saying along with that. A lot of you have really shitty takes on business and keep shooting yourself in the foot. And it's hilarious to me because none of you seem to see it. I'm kind of saying this with love, but with angry love. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about how the end goal of a business, the only purpose of a business, is just to make money. That's the only reason a business should exist. Just to make that money. Nothing else matters. Just buy and sell, that's it. Just make the money. Okay. That's what V Shoujo did. That's what they were doing. They were just making the money. That's what Amazon is doing. They're just making the money. Do you guys support Amazon and V Shoujo and Walmart and all these other companies that are willing to fuck you dry for the sake of $1? Are you willing to go, well, it hurts people I like, but they're a business, so good job, guys. You're making that bank. It makes it hard for people like me who try and actually have something of a soul in what they're doing. A bigger, grander purpose than just making money. Something beyond that simple stuff. It's insulting to me. It is. You might not mean it, but, well, too fucking bad. It's insulting. You're making it seem like all I am is just this soulless creature that the only purpose of my existence is to siphon money from you. And it's only been in the past year that people, especially within my general audience, have realized that the United States is more than an economic zone. There are some things which you want to do for the United States, which, even if it's bad for the GDP, is better for the soul of the nation as a whole. So you want to do it. You've just realized that. So I'm kind of hoping that you guys can do the same thing for business. And realize that maybe, just maybe, some businesses should exist with a bit more of a focus than just making money. That would be really nice if people could do that. And so when I see with other people who have some form of a talent or a skill in which they're developing, something in the arts, something which is more than just a moneymaker, I guess you can say, I want to support that. And that's why I reached out to Pippi. Because I want to be able to support what she was doing. So there is that whole spiel. Sadly, I found the Teaman through Face Connect and a self-immolating bird. A self-immolating bird. Oh. Okay. Okay. I got you. Last year he was skinning up. Yeah, he was old. He was old even back then. How old is he now? I don't even... Like, the old Teaman who... Again, I might be saying the Teaman, but I know people who are leagues above me in tea knowledge and tea skill. Though I still say I make the best blends out of anyone. I need to improve my music stuff. Clearly it's the $200 and not feelings like a human. I know it's gotta hurt, but I respect the mouse and somebody others trying to... Let me get music playing again. I respect the mouse and somebody others are trying to take care of the people who are stiffed by V Shoujo. Yeah. Which on paper is a bad financial decision because you're losing money when you don't even have to. But you know what? Everyone should be applauding that stuff. Because they're doing something beyond just business, because it represents the soul of what they're doing. You do make the best friends. Yeah. So... Yeah, So yeah, I've been working really hard on the teas, on tea shop, doing all this stuff. You know, when I go to conventions, I see how much people love my stuff. So why am I unable to really get anywhere? What's going on? It's because in this day and age, when everyone still viewed the United States some kind of economic zone, where the GDP is all that matters, things like quality, talent, skill, despite what anyone might say, it didn't really matter. People viewed business as nothing more than a means to make money, and so that's all they really thought about when they looked at a business. I put the quality, I put the care, I put the love in. Nobody gives a shit. Like, this is one of the blackest pills I've ever swallowed in these 10 years. Nobody actually gives a shit about your backstory, your overall quality, or any of that stuff. It was me making that super chat of I don't diddle little kids that got people to support. Stuff like that. It was somebody who was much more popular than me, Mr. Ricada, who at the time still only had like somewhere between 50 and 80,000 subs, but it was still a lot more than me. I mean, at this point, I was less than 1,000 subs on my YouTube channel. Again, my tea store was nothing. And, Okay, you being... for some reason, I thought you were being sarcastic with that. But yeah, good job, IMOS, for that. I do very much make the best blends, and I'll talk about that again at the end of the stream. I have a whole end of stream speech thing to give out. Vice Baby, thank you for still being here. I think the approach you're taking in the business is what doesn't put you in just another business category. I always have fun going through your website like a kid in a candy store. Keep it up, sir. Thank you. And I want to keep it up. I do want to. I'm choosing my words carefully when I'm saying this stuff. But yeah, it was giving people what they want. They wanted people to talk about culture war stuff. They wanted people to, you know, own the libs or whatever else. They wanted people to do this kind of stuff. This was what people cared about. And I did not want to do that. I wanted to get ahead because of the quality of my products. But that does not matter, unfortunately. Give me one quick second here. Just making sure that something important didn't happen. Got that, and I got this. Huh. Oh, that's why. Okay. Back to this. Let's see, oh yeah. But it's becoming more and more obvious and apparent that that really doesn't matter. And it sucks because if we were just going by meritocracy, I would not be having any of the issues that I've been having for so long. I'll just talk about it now. Like, something happened last month that made me kind of internally snap and just kind of like yell in my room, basically. Is that I realized I forgot what happened to cause this, but I realized that, wait a second, I actually do have some of the best blends on the planet. All of the different things I've made, like the mana potion, pirate rum, come on brain, think. What are some of the other creative blends that I've had? Afternoon treat, red chocolate cake, all of these different. Where's the donate on the website again? Share this tab instead. Yeah, you can't see it. Bam. Other products, all the way down to donate. And that's where donations are. No, probably that guy calling you out for a fake tea and calling you a drop shipper. I love the fact that I think one of the teas he chose is one of the teas which I made like completely from scratch. And he's like, look at this guy. He's just taking other people's ideas. It's like, motherfucker. Because I have never not said this. Teas come in three forms. Either I make it completely from scratch, or it's a tea which I modify in some way, either small or big. Some teas I modify to the point where I don't even know if I can say I modify it and just say that it's a whole new tea. And some teas come to me as they are. Like, I've always said that. Always. Nowadays, I focus more on making my own personal blends just because it's more fun. Even though if it's more work, it's more fun. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, people don't actually care about it. They don't care that I'm making all this stuff myself. They don't care about the hard work I'm putting in. They just don't. And so, over the years, I've gravitated more and more towards culture war stuff and having the spicy takes, even if I didn't want to. Nothing I have said, to be clear, nothing I have said with the spicy takes has been a lie or me exaggerating. In fact, I usually have to pull back a lot. One of the reasons I have not said anything about the recent all of the crazy censorship stuff that's going on is that my opinion now lies in the realm of if I say it, I would be suspended from whatever platform I say it on. The most I can push me saying is that I do not believe in a non-violent solution. If I had a choice between a violent solution and a non-violent one that got me the same results, I would have to choose the violent one. I reject any non-violent form, which is the cleanest way I can say of what my takes are about all of this stuff. And so that's why I have not been able to really say anything else. So all the stuff about calling MasterCard and Visa and just bugging them about it, that's cute. I appreciate the gusto, but you're not gonna vote your way out of this one. And I want people to start taking that idea seriously. Yeah. Absolutely snake you for life. So yeah, so over the years, I've been doing that more and more. Again, none of the opinions or anything that's, not true, but I don't necessarily like it. Because I want to just go off meritocracy and go off of, it's not cute, I work for a call center. It legitimately costs them a lot of money. They are, the money-loving company you hate. Maybe I'll take a second look then at the idea behind it. Because I'm okay with economic warfare. Yeah. Oh yeah. So with that, that was my first 15 minutes of fame with Mr. Bricada, and then all the super chats that came after. And then following that, we also had the next event that happened. Go here. You guys can see it, right? No, you can't. Share this tab instead. There we go. The next event that, again, was sparked by Mr. Bricada. Essentially a new type of advertising, one that I still use to this day. Oh yeah, actually, a month to complete. I could get it done in about a week because I didn't have to work the odd jobs as much anymore. This also allowed me to invent what was essentially a new type of advertising, one that I still use to this day. Super chat advertisements. Yeah, that's something I invented, chat. And I know other people have done it as well, but I'm the one who came up with it. I'm the one who invented it. Another thing I invented. Same thing like these powdered drink companies and whatnot. Well, it wasn't a powdered drink, so I gotta be honest. It's not the exact same, but I began to create my own energy drinks. A small business doing that stuff. And thank you for the $20 donation on the website. I see no notes attached, so I have nothing to read. I'm obviously not going to read your name. But thank you very much for the $20 super chat via the website. Thank you. So yeah, that's another one of those things which, a Teaman was a little bit ahead of his time. $20 super chat could net me as much as over $3,000 in sales, like it did during the biggest event for both Brigada and myself. The next big event happened in November 2021, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him, with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
Oh shit!
That's it.
Directed
That's
verdict. Directed verdict on all the murder charges. Kyle knows.
Yeah.
Directed verdict on the murder charges.
He just exhaled. Kyle oh, he looks like he's gonna cry.
How do you not acquit after that?
Look at Bigger. Look at Bigger. Look at Big Boy.
Oh, big boy!
Oh, Big Boy. No donuts today, buddy.
A historic event for this country. Nick Rekieta, who is still old Nick at this point, pioneered something that downright changed the landscape of this corner of YouTube. He live-streamed the entire court trial, bringing on other lawyers to discuss the case in real time, give their legal opinions and insights, and do so in a way that the layman can understand. He didn't set out to do anything special, but he more than likely helped shape the trial itself, and at its peak had over 100,000 people watching. That is massive. Mind-blowingly massive. He got to go into Timcast. I actually didn't want to do any skipping ahead during this time, as I felt it would be too inappropriate, but several folks convinced me otherwise. I okayed it with him beforehand, and thanks to proper timing, I created the now famous coupon code that is still mentioned to me to this day. 4 doors, more whores.
But speaking of super chats, the Dragon's Treasure says YouTube is censoring real message. Text sent to Twitter DM. Feel free to read when you deem appropriate. Well, I know that Dragon's Treasure will never send an appropriate super chat, but let me read it real quick here. He says, "Hello, humble anime-themed tea peddler here. Been a supporter of Mr. Rekieta for a few years." Oh, I see why they wouldn't accept this. This is long. For a few years now, and he has treated me too kind. He's given good graces to let me grift during his historic event. I make and sell anime-themed loose leaf teas and tea accessories, vouched by me, Nick, himself for being good, and maybe by some people on the current panel. Visit thedragonstreasure.com and use the appropriate coupon code 4 doors more whores on the website to get 10% off your next order. And part of every sale will be fed back to the Rekieta family.
Nice.
He also
Nice,
has an
Kurt.
anime. He has an
I'm
anime.
gonna help pimp here.
But in all
Dragon's
honesty,
Treasure.
in all honesty, the Dragon's Treasure, he does have very good tea. Does he not, Kurt?
Yes.
You can.
Yes, he does have some wonderful tea and some wonderful flavors. For example, this one, Phoenix Ash, or this one, that's also wonderful, Earl Grey.
Okay, that's enough of that, but you guys get the idea. I'm gonna go back here. Something funny is every time I play a segment with Rekieta, the view count drops. It's like I know you guys don't like him, and I'm in your same boat, but I mean, goddamn, just hang on and just let me play the clip. Holy shit, guys! Like it dropped by 3 each time I played the Rekieta clip. Pouring myself some more tea. Not the Phoenix tea, no wonder it all went down in flames. Who would have thought that in a few years they would all hate each other? Yeah. But yeah, so that was my second 15 minutes of fame, where I managed to get more sales than I ever expected for the size that I was. To bring it all around back. So again, from 2015 to 2018, the business was just a side gig. And from 2018 to 2020, I was just trying to survive, really, and I had barely any time to focus on T-Shop. After the first time that Rekieta shouted me out, I got a lot more income from the T-Shop, which meant I could spend less time doing like Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, etc. Actually, I couldn't even do that because COVID. And then in 2021, when he did that, another huge boost. In fact, it was thanks to that sales boost that I managed to move away from Illinois and down here to Texas. So it's like, thanks to these events. And notice that none of these events was relevant to the quality of my product. Nobody went, hey guys, just out of the goodness of my heart, I found this really delicious tea that I want everyone to try. I mean, sure, they were saying it at the time, but I mean, he was also pimping out the coupon code. What was he going to say? I hate this stuff, but I want you to buy it. So it's not really the same. And so I've always had the vision of just someday somebody, like a big audience, going, man, I found this awesome product. I love it. I want to share it with you guys. But that's just me living in a fantasy reality, in a fantasy world that just does not resemble reality. Unfortunately, it just, that's the way it is. And then I had, of course, last May, my next event. Oh yeah, but after the Rittenhouse trials, when I was able to quit doing Uber and Lyft, and shortly after I quit doing Airbnb. But that was because I thought about continuing doing Airbnb, and then I had my final guest. I've only ever given a one-star review twice for guests. And the final guests were the second time I gave that one-star review. Because they were the type of astronauts and joggers that you would see on the internet. I'll leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. They jogged the fuck out of my room. I mean, it's not the same because I'm tiny, but every time I say stuff praising your tea and coffee, I genuinely mean it. And the coffee especially. You converted me from hating coffee to loving it. And I've done that with a lot of people with tea as well. I can do that. That's why I always say, nobody actually dislikes tea. They have just not found the tea which they like. They have a very bad impression of it because of, well, other companies that just don't care. And so I had a really good 6-month run after that trial. That unfortunately, actually, was it after the trial or was it a year later? I can't even remember anymore. Fine collegiate folks that were turning their lives around. Play the music. Why did this? Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't need you anymore. Do I have anything else that I'm gonna bring up? No. Already did. Doesn't look like it. Alright. So there's been a lot of mistakes and mishaps that have also happened. You know why I have the 25-gram size bags now? I used to only have 50-gram sizes. The reason I have the 25 grams is because I accidentally ordered the wrong size bags. And so when they came in, I had these small little bags that I didn't know what to do with. So I'm like, okay, let's judo this mistake. I have a new size, everybody, which turned out to be a really good thing because a lot more people were buying the smaller bags to try. That's the origin of me having 2 sizes. Or 2 size bags. A mistake. Same, I don't have any tea I like heavily yet, but I'm trying yours out slowly. Good. And if you need any type of advice, just message me on the website or on the Discord or somewhere and we can talk about what you might like. I gotta get a bunch of the coffee considering I drink it almost every day. Well, right now all my coffee is sold out. Not because I'm actually sold out, but because my coffee roaster is breaking down and I need to buy the new one. But the new one is $3,000. It is pricey. I mean, if I get the replacement of what I have now, it's gonna be $2,000 anyway. But for like $1,000 or $1,200 more, it's 6 times the capacity. 6 times the capacity. I can roast 6 times faster. I'm buying that one instead. Because I've gotten way too busy. Way too busy with the coffee. Like, Jesus Christ, people. Yeah, I know. You want attention, but not right now. I fear trying out the sleep potion because I'm always sleep deprived. Maybe it'll help. Maybe it'll help. What was I thinking about? Oh yeah, so after the Rittenhouse trial was the first time I could put most of my attention to the tea shop and the YouTube channel. And I have seen significant growth since then because of it. Things unfortunately took a dip because of COVID and just nobody having money. Thanks, Biden. But that was everybody. It was not just me. Yeah, my income dropped by 50%. 50% compared to the previous 6 months. But I was able to survive all that. I've been able to survive several other disasters since then as well. Most notable one being last year when the hurricane hit and most of my my supply for stuff, like essential oils, the soaps, the flavorings for the tea, because they were stuck in the humidity for so long, they ended up going bad and I couldn't use them. But again, thanks to the audience, I was able to get around all that. I was able to survive. And I kind of need that now. Maybe I should be playing it up a little bit more. I do need a little bit of extra help. For those who are not aware, over the past 12 months, I've spent about $7,000 on repairs and replacements for the car and the current coffee roaster. $7,000. And after I can get the new the new coffee roaster, that's gonna be another $3,000. So that's gonna be $10,000 over the course of the past 3 months that I've had to spend on other things and not growing my business. Keynesian economics does not work, everybody. Fuck that guy. Toad Man, what do you got? I'm still looking for the right tea for me. Chamomile, vanilla, and orange seem to be all the ones I kind of like. I feel like my perfect tea is like some kind of creamsicle. Funny you would say that then. Let me do that, and then come here, and then, share this tab instead. Teas, by type, ribose. Next page. We so happen to have an orange creamsicle tea right here. Orange creamsicle. Honestly, it's been one of my favorites. I was working on this tea on and off for like 2 years. This is one of my making from scratch teas. About 2 years I was working on and off to try and make this work. Really difficult. But eventually I was finally able to make it. Vanilla, honeybush, orange peels, lemon peels, orange creamsicle flavoring. Eventually found the right balance and boom, it's right there. Yep, I have it. One of my favorite teas, honestly. I gotta figure out why, when I go off of the main thing and go back on, it hides the chat. What if I do this? What if I close it? Okay, if I close the background stuff, then the chat comes back on. And probably, if you do super chats, it'll probably come back as well. So if anyone wants to do super chat to test it out, feel free. You know, between $5 and $49, you have Pippa telling me my website sucks. $50, you get to hear another slur, and $100, well, you get to hear Coco calling me a different slur. Because that's what it takes to get ahead. Slurs. So yeah, I'm kind of in a pickle because of all that. It's one of the reasons I was trying to be more discreet, but maybe that's my fault. Maybe I should not be as discreet, but yeah, I'm in a bit of a bind again with the financial stuff. So yeah, any donations would be greatly appreciated, because I gotta make rent this month and I'm short by like, I don't know, $1,500 give or take for all the other stuff I need to get. It's a lot. If you search orange in the search, top right will give you all the teas with orange components. Yes. You can use the search bar to just search by ingredients. I got it set up like that. I got all the ingredients tagged to the teas, so when you search them, I'll find the tag, and yeah. So yeah, going into the future, I'm gonna talk about the future plans for a future stream. But for now, I am still not in what I would call a comfortable position. I'm still not stable. Or maybe I
Website
am.
sucks last time I checked.
Thanks, Pippa. And thank you, Nero Vermillion. There you go, it's coming up finally. Fresh farm to table slaughter. Thank you for $5. How are the new prices doing for me? Well, people are buying. I know people don't like it because nobody likes price increase, but I think it's hard to say because there's been a lot of people buying. So technically, there's been a drop, but that could have just been a expected drop. You know what I mean? People could have been waiting for the 10-year anniversary to start really buying stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a necessity increasing the prices, and I'm hoping I won't have to increase them again next year. Because when I did the math to find out the new cost per item, it's like, oh my god. Because of certain reasons, I cannot do farmers markets, unfortunately. Being a guy in his apartment, I don't have the necessary qualifications to do a farmers market. Same thing with going to other stores. But yeah, so anytime I get a boost in sales, you see a huge increase in the quality of the business. Either the website improves, or I get stuff like teabag machines.
Sucks last time I checked.
I know! Pippa! Shut the hell up! Bitch. Pippi, thank you for the $5. What do you have to say? I don't need to outsource my slurs. They don't call me the Uruguay racism for nothing. Actually, if you give $50, you will get Uruguay being racist. So, funny you would say that. That's the $50 super chat redeem. Uruguay saying things he shouldn't. In fact, why? Maybe I should show it to people. Let me see. Video. Let's proceed. Do I still have Uruguay here somewhere? Let me see. I do.
My time has come. Whoever holds this long stick is gay.
What the fuck? What?
You were always my nigga.
I was always... What?
That is the $50 redeem. So chat, please redeem! Please redeem! What's a good idea? Oh yeah, I would do farmers market if I could, but again, just guy in his apartment does not have the right paperwork to do a farmers market, unfortunately. It'd be what it'd be. So yeah, going forward, I'm still trying to get to that point where I can just be stable. Because there was a 6-month period which I had stability and things were going really good and I was doing a lot of good things for the business and my health. But then I lost that, so I'm yet again just trying to find basic fucking stability for the business. So I can start to work on my the protein powder stuff, the powder energy drink stuff, pre-workout stuff, and just other things which I wanted to do. The scented candles, the incense, all these other things, but I really mean it when I say I cannot keep living like this. I'm getting at the end of my rope with this finance stuff. It's too much. All the hard work I'm putting in for the little I'm getting out, it's killing my soul. It's killing my soul, and I'm not being hyperbolic. Like, I can feel the essence of my being just grinding away to nothingness. And I can't do that anymore. It's why, aside from you guys, and you guys are what I rely on, I'm going to, in the next few months, start looking into getting some kind of a business loan from a bank or a small business association or venture capitalists or angel investors or somebody else, because to hell with this pull myself up by my bootstrap stuff. I've had enough of it. It doesn't really work. And you know what? Let me point this out. Now I can pull up this tweet here. Share screen. Not you. You. Share. Make sure you guys can see it. Full screen it. I posted this yesterday, I think. Fun fact. Based on the amount of money I had to start this business, I got a 1,400% return on investment over 10 years. Though that isn't entirely accurate, as the first 3 years the business was more of a side gig until 2018. Then after that, for 2 years everything was an unreasonable struggle. And it wasn't until 2020, the 5th year anniversary, where I managed to really devote myself to the store in any meaningful way. And even then, it was not until the end of 2021 that I was truly able to dedicate myself, when I stopped doing all the other side jobs. But even putting that aside for now, this would be like if I was given $1 million and in 10 years, I turned that into 14 billion. And I'll be frank, that would be exceedingly easier than the initial 3,000 to 423,000. Another side fact. You can take out the first 5 years of the business, and I would still be at 400,000. I've had 2, possibly 3 months so far, where I have made more money in that month than those 5 years combined. I bring this up because this is what I can do when I am given just a little bit of a boost. When I am no longer working 80-hour weeks spread across like 4 different occupations. When I am able to do the business full time. Can you imagine what I would be able to do if I ever got to the point where I had spared money to play around with and really experiment? Because right now, all I've been able to do is safe experimentation. Really put my vision out there. If I can metaphorically make exceptional artwork... let me do it again. If I can metaphorically make exceptional artwork with nothing but a stick and some mud, imagine. Just imagine what I could do with a full canvas and a set of paint, pencils, and brushes. All I have done up until this point is not even 1% of my power. Because I cannot do this shit anymore with this measly budget. Anytime I'm given a small loan from either Shopify or PayPal, the working capital loan, like I turn that into magic. I've been able to use that to, I think it was what I did to get the coffee business going, probably the soaps as well, introduce a whole new teas, get my tea machine, move here to Texas, all of this stuff. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, in 2021, I had this like movie style 1 in a million unexpected events happen where I was delivering food to somebody for Grubhub and they recognized me from the YouTube channel. And the place I was delivering it to was a venture capitalist investment firm. And so we talked and they introduced me to somebody who might have been able to help. So I did the whole business plan stuff again. I rewrote it. I did all these charts and graphs to show my growth and what I could do in the future with the money. And too long didn't read, the guy said, "Hey, this looks really good. I like your energy. I like your spunk. I like what you can do. I am ready to invest in you as long as you drop the anime theme." As long as I dropped the anime theme, he was going to give me that money. Which was dumb because the anime theme was what really held everything together. And so obviously I couldn't do that. And that kind of broke me. That happened just before the Kyle Rittenhouse trial as well. And so it was one of those moments where after a few months I'm like, maybe I should just close the fucking business down. I can't do this shit anymore, man. I can't do this shit anymore. Like, I can't have my heart be broken this often. Dude failed to get the picture? Yeah. I really hope they do. Thank you, Just Agreed, who is also another affiliate. I hope they can do the little pushing. It's been hard. And so I know, like, this is not even me being cocky. This is almost down to just basic numbers. If somebody gives me $1 million or $2 million, Because I was looking up the average, they would expect... if I was given 1 million, they would expect 1.5 million in about 5 to 7 years back. If I was given that 1 million to do what I wish with it, I can make them that 1.5 million back in 5 to 7 years easy. Like, no sweat, it's not even gonna be on my mind. You saw what I could do with $3,000, turn that into $400,000. I know it's not a one-for-one comparison, but I would be able to make that money easily. Being able to advertise, being able to potentially do a thing with the VTubers, to launch my products, move to a new home/workstation, hire somebody, and really get things going. But without that money, I'm not going to be able to hit those levels. I'm just not. I have hit my ceiling with all of this stuff. So I'm going to need real big financing from those companies. Not that you guys don't matter, like I said, I'm still short by a lot of money for things like paying rent or whatever else. I still have several bills I gotta pay as well. I mean, here on the low level stuff, it's still pretty bad. But to make the high level stuff work, I need a loan from a bank or somebody. This level is just not gonna cut it. It's killing me. Like, I will die from exertion and overwork before I make anything of this tea business. This is the first time I've ever bought anything from a YouTube channel, but I went ahead and put in order for some of that orange creamsicle and Kentucky bourbon. Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Highly appreciate it. Adding that to the funds. Obviously, I'm not going to say your name, but again, thank you for that. Is it alright if I ask you what you typically make in a month? I can tell you the gross income for the business, because I do it all the time. It's difficult because, again, I've had, even outside of that $7,000 in repairs and replacement, there's been other little things here and there which I've had to pay for, which is an unusual expense. So these past couple of months have been kind of insane, but I've made more money than I have in a while, but I've also had to spend more money than I have in a while. In terms of purely gross revenue, around $8,000 a month, give or take, is what I would need to just survive. Hey, what are you doing? So my new cat, Squeaky is her name. I call her Squeaky. When she plays with Appa, she does this thing where when she chases him, she hisses at him while she chases him. And at first I thought it was the other way around. I thought she was hissing at Appa. But nope. As I have found out, she chases while hissing at him. But yeah, just around 8,000 gross revenue a month is what I need to be able to sustain, because, you know, cut that basically in half. Because that 8,000 covers the shipping cost, it covers the commissions for all of the affiliates I have, also covers paying back the working capital loans, pays back all of this other stuff. So 8,000 a month sounds a lot, but it's gross. And I can't give you a net because I have a different net profit that I have if somebody spends $20 loose leaf versus pre-bagged, or $100 or something like that. So it's a jumbled mess, and I don't want to have to do the math to figure all that stuff out. Actually, now that Shopify has AI to do this stuff, maybe I will be able to figure it out. I have to look into it. But that's for after the stream. It's also one of the reasons I try and push the Only Teas and the Dragon's Wings more often nowadays, because, you know, with that type of monthly stuff, it gives me an idea of what I'm going to make in a month, so I can better plan ahead. And I would like to get more sales from that, if possible. But I still need a lot more for that. Let's see, what else am I thinking of? Yeah, right now my goal is to not just find stability, but really find stuff to be able to prosper and stop working myself to death. And that's not even being hyperbolic. Like, my health keeps fading. And it's gotten to the point where, like last month, I got sick for like 2 weeks because of it. I can just feel that my strength is fading, my endurance is fading. I'm trying to work out more to get my energy back and my strength back, but it's become too difficult. That's the reason why I changed the shipping policy on my website. So I'm no longer doing the thing where I'm trying to say that all orders get shipped out Wednesday. Now it's pretty much when I can. Because maybe I get sick again, maybe I get a giant rush again. Maybe I just need time off to just work out and get my health back in order for a day or two. I just can't make the promise like before about the, for that week, the next Wednesday is when everything goes out. I just can't. But if I hire some help, that shouldn't be a problem. Again, I need an investment, a large investment to make these things happen. I no longer feel that pride. That's not entirely true. I have some sense of pride in it, but the depression outweighs the pride, I guess the best way you can put it. Where the concept of me being able to do all this stuff by myself, pulling myself up by my bootstraps, taking so little and making so much out of so little, yeah, it sounds fantastic, and I'm sure it inspires some people, but you know what? Fuck it, I don't care anymore. I need more than that. I need help. Things cannot continue like this. So yeah, that's the story with all of that. So in the future live streams, I know there's going to be 2 I know for sure. 1, which might be next week, I'm not entirely sure yet, might be talking about what it would take to make a VTuber company, where you and me, Chad, are gonna sit down and we're gonna go over the numbers of what it would take to make my VTuber company successful. How much would it cost? What I would need in the contract to ensure I don't get screwed, because I know I'm not gonna screw over the talents, because I'm me. As simple as that. But I want to make sure that they don't screw me. I need to make sure that I get mine as well. I'm not going to be spending the money on hookers and cocaine like all these other companies seem to be doing. I will go over what the split should be, how much it would cost, what would happen if I have to pay her a minimum monthly to work, etc., etc. And we're going to see just how difficult it's going to be. Should a VTuber company would be expensive as fuck? Yes, it would. I am aware of that. Which why some guy who cannot pay his rent right now cannot afford to make a VTuber company. No cocaine, no wallows. No, none of that. So I'll be one stream, and then there'll be another stream going over what I would do if I had my own gym. And you're gonna see what I mean when I say that my gym will be different. There'll be another one. I'm not entirely sure the structure of the next stream, the last one for the month, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I should become an owner of agency for those pros. Shame I'm poor. Yeah. Speaking of gym, I gotta go work out, right? Because I need to wrap this up as well. It's been almost 2 hours and I'm getting tired. In fact, hold on. Squeaky! 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 Hey! Come here! Squeaky! Squeaky! Yeah, she doesn't care. Whatever. Alright, it's about time for me to wrap this up because I'm getting tired. I gotta make a very quick phone call. And just figure some other stuff out. Rest a little bit, take a shower, and then I'm gonna spend the last couple of hours of the afternoon or the evening just sitting in my meditation room and thinking about the past 10 years in the future and what I need to do. I will say that you are gonna see some changes going forward. Changes that I don't really want to do, but it's gonna have to be done. One of them being the price increases, another one being how I handle things on the good old internets. Because everyone wants people to be fleeing shit around, and that's what it takes to get me my sales. Again, it's always been based Teaman that gets the sales. It's never been skilled Teaman or quality Teaman. Yes, I love this thing. I bought it a couple of years ago at a convention. That's still bragging. You know what's cool about this? If I want to wash it, all I need... Hold on. This... Yeah, comes off. So I can just wash this so this does not get all messed up. Love this thing. I only bring this out on special occasions. And 10th year anniversary qualifies as a special occasion. This is my special goblet. Look at it. It's a dragon claw holding an egg. I got a lot of little things around here that I only do for special occasions. Skilled Teaman does get repeat sales, but you know, a repetition of next to nothing is still next to nothing, unfortunately. I'm maxed out with the skills. Like, yeah, I'll be able to do stuff like the protein powders and whatnot, but I need money, I need revenue, I need income to come in. There'll be more focus on YouTube, because YouTube brings in a lot of money by itself. People love the influencer stuff, and I want to talk more. Oh, that reminds me, something I completely forgot about, which I want to bring up for some people. Give me 1 second here. I'm looking for something. Videos. Scrolling down, see if I can find it. Not you. There we go. Share this tab instead. Make sure you can see it. Bam. I should probably click in the video so it's easier to see. Bam. This video, I completely forgot I made it 2 years ago on September of 2022. So almost 3 years ago now. Just about 3 years ago. Slicker, if you remember this controversy, is a symptom of Twitch. They're all dirty. XQC, Hassan, Pokemon, Miskip, etc. I made a whole video just talking about why I hate these totally organic Twitch streamers. None of them got to where they are by merit or talent. None of them. They're all plants. Slicker was the guy who had a huge gambling problem and took hundreds of thousands of dollars from several streamers and fans. He even got a shit ton of money from a fan who's going through chemo to feed his gambling addiction. The energy powder. Basically, I am gonna be doing what GamerSubs does. Manic, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys didn't know about Slicker? You know, let's do that. Let's play. I'm gonna play just the beginning of the video so you guys can hear what all that stuff was. I didn't know that you guys were unaware of it. A lot has happened this past week with what I consider to be one of the worst groups of people for society. Top-tier Twitch streamers. I know that in today's meta of language, everything needs to be taken to the extreme and must be labeled as the best or the worst or some of the worst.
Have hours of time to watch me.
Oh yeah, if you guys didn't know, this is what I get it from. The worst people in society.
$5 a month. How do you have hours of time to watch me and not $5? All right, everyone in the chat's making me depressed with all their sad and sob stories about how they're.
This is where the meme comes from.
Can't afford $5 a month.
Before I deep dive into why I say this, let's go over what has happened this past week. It all began with Twitch streamer Slicker, a man with over 430,000 followers on Twitch. Net worth not officially known, but going off other streamer metrics and sponsorships, he easily makes 6 figures per year. He was recently caught having scammed other streamers and viewers of up to $400,000, using schemes not too far past Nigerian scammer levels of dude, trust me bro.
And what did I learn from these 55 people?
sucks last
Well,
time I
there were a lot of different ways Slicker liked to approach people, but he really liked this bank scam method.
My bank account got locked. Temporarily locked. Don't have access to my money, sadly. Because the UK banks, but whatever. I was wondering if I asked if I could borrow money and I'd pay you back. Now,
Shit, you can't see it.
I'd even give you extra.
For what purpose
sorry,
did he
guys.
scam people for closing in on $500,000 when he's already making at least 6 figures? To feed his gambling addiction off-site. This was going on for a few years. He jumped from one streamer to another, until eventually he got caught after trying to use the same scam he'd privately use with individuals with a mass audience. He would hit everyone he can, including underage viewers and even a sickly chemo patient.
But man, like, you were my friend, bro. And before I was going for my transplant, knowing you're not going to pay back, you're asking for my money that I put together to save my life. And you had no intention, even though I've already given you money. You never paid that back, and then you asked for another 10K. Before I'm meant to be going to America to pay for this stuff, man. I just want to know. I know addiction is difficult, but.
And just, it goes on for a while, but you get the idea. So when people wonder why I speak. Well, let me rephrase it. People think that my recent bashing of Twitch streamers and whatnot, it's a recent thing. No. Even when I was a nobody, I was complaining about how much these guys suck. So it's nothing new. Oop, there's an email I was looking for. Okay, so I don't have to make that phone call now. Fantastic. Finally, I was looking for that email. Finally came up. Okay. I remember this bish. Which bish? There was a lot of bishes that came up. But thank you for the $5. If people can fund DSP, I believe we can get people to help Teaman. I think so as well. And I hope so as well. Because, man. Also, let me pull up another tweet that I made to showcase this. Because this upsets me now. Give me one moment. Was not that far away, not that long ago. Not you. I'm getting close. Almost there. I'm almost there, chat. Up, there we go. Share this tab instead. Let me make sure you can see it. I've done this several times for several videos where I've made giant collages of people saying all of this nice stuff on the YouTubes. Dude, you're so underrated. I hope your channel grows. I was fully invested in this. Such an underrated channel. Dragon's Treasure, thank you for doing what you do. You're criminally underrated. Loved your Naruto videos. Loved your Good and Login video. And now I have fallen in love with these Dragon Ball videos. Keep it going strong, dude. You have my full support. Damn, you made me into such an emotional wreck. This is no doubt the most underrated YouTube channel. Or channel on YouTube. And then me. This is like 4 years ago at this point. And yet, I'm struggling to get rolling without terrible clickbait. LOL. So, yeah, great comments. Yes, but after a certain point, they hurt. Because one of those things was like, yeah, you're doing great, guy. Thumbs up. Hooray. Yeah. We can't, only so much support we can actually give, but here are the words we can give. Let's go help DSP out. Let's give these multi-millionaire Twitch streamers even more money. Yeah. And so I was like, thank you for all the nice words and whatnot about the quality of my stuff, but I can't eat that. I can't pay the rent with that. One of the reasons why I'm going to be looking to banks and whatnot to try and give me some kind of a loan to really get things going. Because it does say something that I've kept this business alive for 10 years, when the first 5 was just such a struggle. Really, it's 400,000 in 5 years that I've made. To be frank. It's 400,000 in 5 years. And again, that's gross. And it's still with like a shoestring budget. So imagine what I could do with actual money. Like, none of us have experienced that yet. None of us. And for those like Mr. Analog Drift, who has known me for, well over a decade at this point, know the content of my character. And know that money is merely a means to a much grander end. There was a point in my life which I expected to become a monk. Like a Shaolin monk. And just dedicate myself to martial arts and the spiritual path. Well, of course that didn't happen, but I am not looking to get myself a yacht. I have no intention of getting any hookers. No cocaine. I hate weed. So that's not going to happen. Like, the store basically is my life now. And my past life as, the martial artist Teaman, that's now gone. So there's no going back to that. So this tea shop is all that I have. And I want to see it succeed. I want to see it do good. And succeed does not just mean making a shit ton of money. If I end up becoming the most successful tea business that's ever existed, but in the process I destroy the tea industry and I make people hate tea, but I have a shit ton of money, that'll kill me inside. I'll probably end up just blowing my head off. So it's not just a matter of making as much money as I can. Again, I'm still in the state of just trying to survive. I don't want to experience that feeling again of having more than just survival money, because I can barely even get that. Oh, alright, but that's enough whining and whatnot. It's about time for me to just wrap things up. You know what's funny, T-Man? I had my 10-year anniversary in January with the same business age, and many people have come and gone. Nice words are nice, but people who actually stay and support, that's what you want. Yes. Yes, it is. You know what else is nice? To give an idea of the content of my character, is it was only until about a year and a half ago, I think, that Shopify gave me the ability to do the auto payments for the affiliate codes. Like a year and a half ago. So until then, every person that I did a coupon code with, it was on the honor system. That was it. Purely on the... Just trust me, bro. No, let me do this with you. Trust me, I'll get you your money. And you know what? I did. And I still do, because legal mindset and potentially criminal, those are two people who are still on that system. Same with Steph the alternate. I gotta get them on the new system so I don't have to worry about this at the end of every year. But yeah. I know I can do much bigger things, much grander things. I just need one, to have a moment of rest so I can regather my soul and go back to being a complete human. Because I feel like I am a husk of a man, a shell of my former self. When I can get over that, and I can get finances to really get to work, then you will see great things. You will see it at a VTuber company. You will see conventions. Not me going to conventions, me running conventions. You will see all of these things that you want to see. And I will do it. Just because, well, the reason I am how I am is complicated. There's no need to really go into all of that history. Praying for your Teaman, and I'll buy you some tea from you when I can, and I greatly appreciate it. TCon 2028 will be real, and it will feature real anime girls. I've only done light thinking. I don't know how I would shape my convention. It'll be an anime convention, but I don't know how I can combine anime and tea in a single convention. I'll figure it out. I always find ways to do crazy things. Okay, I am tired, I am fading, I need to rest. And so with all of that, I thank everyone who has joined us for this 2-hour live stream. That is a long live stream. So again, thank you all who have joined us. Thank you all who have watched the VOD all the way to the end. Charles, I'm still waiting for that $100,000, which you said you were going to give me. And with all of that, thank you all. Farewell. time to go rest.